The Amazon rainforest is home to hundreds of indigenous peoples who have been living in the region for centuries. As the world's largest tropical rainforest, the Amazon is home to many unique species and ecosystems. Indigenous peoples in the Amazon have been deeply affected by climate change, deforestation, and human development. As the world's largest tropical rainforest, the Amazon provides many resources for indigenous peoples, such as food and medicine. And it is also home to sacred sites and ancestral lands. Indigenous rights are an integral part of conservation efforts in the Amazon. The United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples, UNDRIP, was adopted in 2007 in an effort to protect the rights of indigenous peoples. This declaration enshrines the rights of indigenous peoples to their lands, territories, and resources, and outlines their right to participate in decisions that affect them. It also requires that governments respect the rights of indigenous peoples and seek their free, prior, and informed consent before taking any action that may affect them. In addition to UNDRIP, indigenous peoples in the Amazon are also protected by various international conventions and national laws. In Brazil, for example, the Constitution of 1988 ensures the protection of indigenous peoples' rights to their lands and territories. In Colombia, the government has adopted the law on the rights of indigenous peoples in order to protect their rights. Indigenous peoples in the Amazon are also working to protect their culture and way of life through conservation efforts. In many areas of the Amazon, indigenous peoples are actively involved in protecting the forest and its resources. They are working to protect their lands from deforestation, illegal logging, and mining, as well as to protect the traditional knowledge and cultures. Indigenous peoples are also working to promote sustainable agriculture and resource management, and to create indigenous reserves that protect their lands and resources. Conservation efforts in the Amazon are also supported by various international organizations. For example, the Amazon Basin Network for Indigenous Peoples, ABNIP, is a network of indigenous organizations working to protect the rights of indigenous peoples in the Amazon. The organization works to promote the sustainable use of natural resources and to protect indigenous cultures and traditional knowledge. In addition, organizations such as the Amazon Conservation Team, ACT, and the Amazon Conservation Association, ACA, are working to support indigenous conservation efforts in the Amazon. Indigenous rights and conservation efforts in the Amazon are essential for protecting the world's largest tropical rainforest and its unique ecosystems and species. In addition, indigenous peoples have a right to their lands, territories, and resources, and should be involved in decisions that affect them. Conservation efforts in the Amazon are supported by international organizations, as well as by various national laws and conventions. By protecting indigenous rights and working together to conserve the Amazon, we can ensure that this valuable ecosystem is preserved for future generations.